Hi, my name is Andrew Ortiz, and this is my PowerPoint on what's wrong with the U.S. criminal justice system. And I apologize in advance for the moving around. I just don't have a place to put the laptop and still record. All right. So first off, let's talk about what the U.S. criminal justice system is. It's designed to enforce laws, ensure public safety, deliver justice to those who have committed crimes. So anything like speeding tickets, arrest warrants, or cops arresting somebody who has stolen from you, all of that has to do with the U.S. criminal justice system. So what's wrong with it? So there are probably many things that are considered wrong with it, but these are the three things that I pointed out for my PowerPoint and my essay. The first is racial disparities. The second is high incarceration rates. And the third is punishment over rehabilitation. And I will go into further detail about these later on. So, what are racial disparities? So, that's basically anything that goes against somebody or some person based on their race or color of their skin. So, whether it's biased or unbiased. So examples of these are black unemployment rates, income inequality, death rates, school services. So like in low income areas, some schools can't have like high tech equipment. So, and that could do something with race. Or low income schools in low income areas aren't offered scholarships like other schools are, and just flat out racism. What are solutions to these? Reforming police practices. So those include anything like just like training, new training for officers. Investing in education in low income areas. So that's like what I was saying before. Those low income areas, those schools that can't afford high tech equipment for their students. So investing in those areas for those students, for those children's future. And addressing systematic racism within the criminal justice departments. So obviously, we've seen recently that how racism plays a role in policing, and obviously, definitely, it's not even like more than 1% of cops, but we have seen how some cops are persuaded by what they do or what they say because of your race. So that's the second reason is high incarceration rates. So more people are being imprisoned than ever before, and I have two little pictures here, diagrams to show you. This first one right here says the United States of America is home to only 4% of the world's population, but also home to 25% of the prison population. So that kind of puts into perspective of how bad it is in the United States and how little people we have, but how much of the people we have are imprisoned. So a fourth of the imprisonments. And this next diagram just shows the incarceration rate, which is all the way up here, which is close to 300%. And this is between 1978 and 2012. I will put that a little closer for you. That shows incarceration rates. And then it shows the violent crime rate, which is in blue, and the property crime rate, which is in lighter blue. And that just shows that the U.S. has harsh policies on their laws, and that you could do a like very minimal crime and you'll still get incarcerated, and this diagram shows it. The solution: implementing alternative sentencing options like community service and probation. Now I want to make this clear. I'm not saying do these options for second offenders or violent crime, like murderers. I'm saying do these for people who have like little petty crimes, like um, like minor drug offenses or like a petty theft, something like that. So that's who this would entail to. The third is punishment over rehabilitation. And instead of convicting someone for using drugs, send them to an addiction treatment facility. I've heard many stories of people trying to get clean and they just can't because they're too poor and they can't get the help they need because there's just not one in the area or they just can't afford it. The second is instead of arresting someone for doing something stupid because they just can't help it, send them to a mental health facility. Don't send them to prison where they'll get worse and possibly do something even worse than why they went in, and send them to a health facility. And the third, provide job training for inmates. I think the best thing that we can do as a government and as just citizens is send inmates into the real world with the best possible chance to succeed. So giving them job opportunities, like maybe having them take college courses while they're still in prison, or doing on-site job training. So maybe when they get out, they can get a job right away and make a living for themselves instead of going back into prison, like you'll see soon. This is the reincarceration rate. So this just shows between 5,000 and 10,000 people who are reconvicted, reincarcerated, and rearrested between 2000 and 2016. So this is, I'll show you up close. This is people who are reincarcerated 3 years after their release from prison or jail. So those are the rates. There's another little diagram that I found. I'll show you up here close. It says 19.3 million people aged 12 or older needed but did not receive substance use treatment at a special facility. So that just shows like if these people got help that they needed, maybe they wouldn't have hurt themselves, or maybe they wouldn't have gone to prison or hurt somebody else. So I feel like if we offer these facilities that I mentioned before to everybody, not just people who are in prison, but people who are poor and can't afford anything, the streets will be safer, the prisons will be have less and less people, and the economy will just be better. This is a diagram, this is the conclusion. This is just showing that it's going to take a while. It's not going to take a couple months, it might take years, a couple years, but it's going to be a slow and steady process. It's going to be ups and downs to making the criminal justice system the best that it can be. And I think people get confused sometimes saying that this needs to happen now, and it takes time. It's going to take time, and I believe that we can get there to where it becomes the best that it can be.